If you're driving in the middle of the night and you happen upon a child that's wandering around confused in the middle of the road, make sure to help them out. Make sure to prevent them from getting hit by a motorcycle that clearly isn't paying attention and doesn't see the child in the middle of the road. But don't do way too much. I mean, take them to the clinic, get them checked out. If they have weird medical conditions, maybe make sure they're going to be all right, but maybe don't invite them into your home. Don't do way too much. It could get way too personal. And worst of all, you could be caught in The Chalk Line, a Netflix original filmed in Madrid, Spain, and this was written and directed by Ignacio Tate. I'm pretty certain I butchered that name, I apologize. This is their feature film debut, and also written by Isabel Pena, who did The Beast, not Fantastic Beasts, or the sequels that I can't remember the full names of because I really don't care about those movies, and also Mother, aka Madre. No, not to be confused with the Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris, and Michelle Pfeiffer starring movie Mother that was goddamn dog shit. And Darren Aronofsky deserves to be banned from polite society for unleashing Mother upon us. But this isn't about Mother. This is about a Spanish thriller with some horror elements and a bit of mystery because there is Paula, I'm not going to say the full name here, played by Elena Anaya, and Simone, played by Pablo Molinero. Pretty certain I'm butchering these names. I do apologize. That's why I have notes, because I struggle with English names, as you can tell. And they have been trying to have a kid for years. They've been doing medical treatments, everything. They've been doing everything they can to have a child. So they happen upon this blonde, blue-eyed girl that's all confused, and they help her. They prevent a motorcycle from hitting her. That's in the beginning of the movie. And through a series of following sequences, doctors are checking her out, psychologists are checking her out. She really is very disturbed. She doesn't really talk all that much. She has mutism. She was very traumatized. She has kidney issues, and these issues are improving over time, and she develops a bond with Paula and Simone, but especially Paula. And also they have friends, one that is going to be having a kid soon, one named Eduardo with his wife, who they live right next door, and other people. They're like, oh, this is great that you're bringing a child in. We know that you really wanted a child. And from there, more things get peeled back about what could be going on with this girl who responds to the name Clara. She says certain words that if you put them in Google Translate, they come up with different results than ones here. But, like coming up with various words, it turns out she actually speaks German. She doesn't speak Spanish, because it would be a bit weird to find a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Spanish girl. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but obviously she was going to be... I thought she might have been the girl from System Crasher, but no, this is her feature debut. She's Eva Tenier, and also there's another girl actually named Eva Lorach. That couldn't have possibly been confusing. Eva, me Eva, or she Eva? Shiva! No, not the goddess of ice. So from there, Paula develops a bond with her. They form chalk lines in the house, so Clara can wander around. But then Clara starts to get really distant and starts to get really, really weird. Things are going on. Simone's starting to question why Paula was hiding, needles full of medicine, a zip pouch of medicine in the bathroom. And starting to wonder about all this stuff, like certain things, they're making you question what the hell's going on. And from there, we have a drama / mystery / horror movie that, again, mixes a few ideas and all these things. Eventually, they try to bubble up, but the movie never sticks with something consistently without going on another tonal shift. And that's not the worst thing in the world. This movie certainly has a few good ideas and has a few decent performances. The actress playing Paula, I think, does the best out of them. The kid isn't all that bad either. In fact, actually, the kid, I would like to see what else this child can do. And maybe if she can develop a hell of a goddamn body of work, because she was actually pretty good in this. And it's hard to find some good child actors. She did a pretty good job with it. Everybody else is fine. They're fine, I guess. Nobody's particularly bad in this. Actually, I would say this is well acted and well intentioned. And the ultimate reveal is, I guess, somewhat horrifying. It proves be careful who you trust. But also, it's, while logical, also illogical at the same time. I think the movie didn't quite know what it wanted to be, and they're like, well, shit, we can't have this child actually be possessed. That's not where they go. They go in a totally different direction. But they kind of hint that the child could possibly be possessed or weird or something, or Maybe there's an unseen force out to get her. It just ends up kind of not really forming fully, and ends up just, being half-assed for most of its time. And then the conclusion kind of just makes you think, oh, okay, that's it. It's another movie that sets up a whole lot of stuff and then just rushes shit at the end. Which I'm not saying you need to have the climax at the very beginning. I would know nothing about that. Just don't ask my exes, and I can't talk about anything else until the cases are settled. But nevertheless, the whole point is eventually it gets to where things don't coagulate enough for this movie to be anything more than barely above average. That being said, there are some good parts. The actress who played Elena, she was fine. The actress who played Clara, she was good, and the other bit parts were all right. But eventually it just ends up it doesn't crash, it just kind of gets That's really all it comes down to. It is on Netflix. It is one of the better Netflix originals out there, as opposed to Hellhole that I just reviewed. But that being said, if you have a Netflix subscription, you can absolutely check it out. They've been doing pretty good with some originals lately. But I am, and again, the spoilers, just so you know. So 3, 2, 1, haha, spoilers. Okay, so she looks around for Clara after Clara goes missing and is all confused. Also, there are some points where pieces of glass are being found in food. Like this one pregnant woman almost ends up losing her baby, and they think Clara did it. And then there's another piece of glass that Paula ends up ingesting. And they're trying to get explanations from Clara, and she doesn't really want to talk anymore. Then what it turns out is that suddenly Paula suspects that it's her neighbor Eduardo, because she stole some paperwork after being talked to by the police, and it's about a bunch of missing children. One that had a lazy eye, and she studies up on that one, aka Ingrid, and studying up on all this stuff, what the hell's going on. And it turns out that, well, all this weird, sick shit was happening because Eduardo, even though he has a wife, maybe she's in on this, maybe she's not. I mean, actually, it does turn out that she is in on it, even though she tries to push away the fact that she is. She really doesn't want any part of this, but she doesn't want to have her, stuff come crashing down when it hurts inside. So eventually, Paula goes with this research. She's back at her house. She decides to go find Clara because she's looking for her. And it turns out that Clara's back at the house back at Eduardo's house. Why is she at Eduardo's house? Well, because he sent her out and told her to follow the chalk line because it's all a ploy so he can get women and murder them. That's it. He also murdered Clara's mother. And he's a sick freak that likes to murder women, kidnap kids, and do God knows what else with kids. They never say that exactly, but it's implied. And that's pretty much the explanation right there. He tortures Clara. He has tortured Clara, but he tortures Paula. Paula manages to get Clara to do chalk line stuff because they use the chalk line as a way to set boundaries, and you can only come out of these boundaries if you're comfortable. And she does chalk stuff to walk out there, but since there's no way to write chalk in the ground, she tries to yell at Simone, but Simone is on the phone or drunk or stupid and doesn't answer, and Eduardo's wife captures Clara, takes her back, and the implication is, well, they're both fucked. They're both dead. And even though Paula had called the police earlier and they had arrived, the police left. But they must have had probable cause because they break into the house and then they find Paula and Clara apparently, and they're dead. They're dead. Everybody's dead. It's an unhappy ending, except then they're suddenly on the phone talking via video call. Clara is with her grandmother, and Paula and Simone are fine, and they're going to have a kid. They're going to have a kid of their very own, but they still keep in contact. That's it. That's really it. It's fine. C+. I give it credit for the acting. It's not necessarily something, again, that coagulates and comes together right now over me. But it's fine for what it is. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Reckland. I'll see you soon.